Hey besties, welcome or welcome back. My name is Jasmine. I'm a mom and a full-time corporate girly, and this is Thriving-ish, where I attempt to get my shit together one day at a time. Today, I'm taking you along for our first ever family road trip. I posted a summer to-do list not that long ago, and this was one of the most important things for me on that list. And I did my best to capture as much of it as I possibly could while still living in the moment. And I'll admit, I have a lot of room for growth here because I'm still not super comfortable propping up my tripod just anywhere or filming myself in public yet. Hence why there is this face-to-face aspect of the video. But nevertheless, I'm still gonna post it because it was a good experience and we had a lot of fun. Even though I'm not exactly as proficient in the YouTubing as I'd like to be, it's not really a reason to not share the things that I want to share, right? Anywho, let's just get into it. So my little family and I, which is me, my man, and my daughter, who is 7, took a 3-hour road trip down to New Jersey because I have been dying to take them to Medieval Times and the American Dream Mall, which has a ton of attractions, but I mainly wanted to go to the theme park and the water park. And I really wanted to visit this Hindu temple, and all 3 of these spots were in the same general area, but I knew that we weren't going to be able to do them all in just one day, so it would have to be a multiple day road trip. Looking back, I wish I had arranged our stops in a little bit of a different order, but hindsight is 20/20, so we'll get to that. We made it to the hotel. It's definitely nothing fancy. It is the most basic hotel that we could find in the area that was not in like Manhattan. We did not have a great view. We did not have an amazing room. We have 2 beds and a bathroom, and that's all that we need. And right now we're just freshening up to go to our first stop, which is Medieval Times, which, if you don't know, is a like dinner and a show type of vibe. It's a scripted jousting match. Hopefully they let me take a video inside. If not, I'll just tell you how it went afterwards. But we're super excited. We're gonna hit the road right now, and I'll check in with you later. Our first stop was Medieval Times, and our experience was a 10 out of 10. The lines moved quickly, the show was amazing, and the food was the best part. They put so much effort into the show that they put on, and it was worth every penny. I will say though, the only thing that kind of took away from the experience was due to my own ignorance. I kept thinking about the horses and whether or not they were having a good time performing. As an empathetic person, that's really all I could think about. So I'm like, are they having fun? Do they like doing this? Does it hurt to do these stunts? Like, do those whips hurt? And that kind of distracted me and pulled me out of the moment a little bit. So I ended up doing a deep dive after we got home, and I'll share with you what I learned, because if I had known it going into the show, then I would have been able to enjoy it a little bit more, knowing what I know now. Because everything that I learned was so heartwarming and so wholesome, and it made me feel really good that the money that I spent didn't go into an organization that doesn't treat their animals with care. So behind the scenes, the horses are treated super well. All of their training is play-based, so they're having fun and they do enjoy the performance aspect of their job. They're also given a ton of outdoor time and regular mini vacations on this like ranch. I think it was once a month that they get to go for like a week and just chill and be horses. They just get time to recharge. Also, the whips they're called whips, but they're not really whipping the animals. It's actually an extension of the rider's hand and helps guide the horse as to what trick to do next and can provide encouragement. So maybe they want to pet the horse, but they can't necessarily reach down. They can do that with the whip. So hopefully if you do go to see one of these shows, you can rest assured and fully enjoy the experience knowing that these are happy, healthy, loved, well-maintained, well-cared for horses, and they're not suffering.
And accepted. All my small technician and combat is now retired from the field.
You got an extra one? You got extra something?
Our next step was the American Dream Mall, which, if you don't know, is this massive mall with tons of stores and crazy attractions that are super hard to find, at least in my area. I mean, we only walked one wing of this place to get from where we parked to where we were going. Duh. But but the amount of stores that I saw that I've never even heard of were just amazing. I felt like such a tourist, like recording a mall, but it was so fancy and upscale and like posh. Around the time we got there, I think it was like maybe like 11:15ish. So the water park wasn't open yet, but the theme park was open. So we didn't end up having to wait in that super long line. And I would say the rides were a decent mix of like family friendly and intense. They did have a lot to offer on both ends of the spectrum, but I would say most of the rides are on the more intense side. So if you're a big crybaby like me, this might not be the best place for you to go. We only ended up going on about 3 of the rides because most of them were just way too intense. My daughter wasn't into them, or they were too spinny and would just make us sick. So no. But there was a bunch of stuff to do that wasn't like a roller coaster. There was a human claw machine. There was a ropes course. There were little performances on the stage from time to time. It was cute. We had a lot of fun in here. Then once we were thrilled out, we decided to go to the water park for what we thought was going to be a more relaxing experience. Spoiler alert, that is not how things went down. So we did spring for the cabana, which, knowing what I know now, I do think it's a non-negotiable. They are kind of expensive, but it was really nice to have a place where we could rest our bags and where we could just sit, eat, we could close the curtains, we could kind of have a little bit of privacy and peace amongst pure chaos. The only bad part was that our cabana was on the 2nd floor, so it wasn't super easy to access. There was a lot of stairs and up and down and up and down, and I was pretty sore the next day. The tea on the water park is that the wave pool is the most intense wave pool you will probably ever visit. And I started to get pretty nervous as the day went on because the waves were so intense, and because my daughter and I are short, they ended up crashing into our faces. We couldn't hide from them. You couldn't jump over them. You couldn't ride every wave. We ingested so much of that water, which is disgusting. But it's just not, it wasn't a vibe. They do offer life vests, but once they run out, they run out. Like if you don't have one, you got to wait for somebody to take theirs off and hang it back up. So maybe think about bringing your own. I would also really recommend goggles because like I said, those waves were smacking us in the face. There was no avoiding them, and my eyes were burning.
Okay, we've been at the water park for 4 hours now. The wave pool is very intense. But I love it. I think I got a partial decapitation. I'm not okay, but it's pretty fun, and I would recommend.
Outside of the wave pool, there's a bunch of different water slides and other attractions. We spent a lot of time on like the playscape type thing. I don't know how to describe it, but every water park has one. It's like a jungle gym, and it's got a big bucket of water that spills every once in a while, and there's like slides off of it. You know what I'm talking about. The issue that I had with that space was that there were a lot of hiding spaces, and I'm not a helicopter mom, but I'm also not the mom that's gonna let my child just go into one of those playscapes unattended and hope for the best. So she wanted to go on slides, and I was having to stand with her in line until she went on the slide and then race down to meet her at the bottom of the slide. It was just exhausting because in the back of my mind, I'm like, evil people exist, and it is very possible to lose your child in a space like this where there's so much noise, so many children, so much chaos. I don't know, it just felt different from other water parks that I had been to. For some reason, it was scarier. But even though the experience was really draining for us as the parents, my daughter ended up loving it. So there is that silver lining. I will also share that we ate at the little restaurant within this space, and my man did end up getting pretty sick. So if you have a sensitive tummy, maybe go to one of the restaurants that's inside of the mall instead of eating from the restaurant inside of the water park, because it's just water park food. On the final day of our trip, our plan was to wake up pretty early, get breakfast downstairs at the hotel, and then head to the Hindu temple. But honestly, we were all so exhausted from the day before that we did not wake up early, and we did not want to stop anywhere else because traveling to the temple would have brought us an hour in the opposite direction. Traveling back would have put us in the middle of some pretty intense traffic going through the New York area. and possibly made us late to pick up our dog from boarding. We all mutually agreed that we would skip that leg of the trip and just head home because we really were so tired. And I was pretty bummed that we weren't able to make it to the temple because that was one of the things that I was most looking forward to on the trip. But I will be making it a point to get back out here as soon as possible, potentially this month. But we'll see. All in all, this trip was a great success. I polled the audience and everyone said their favorite part of the trip was medieval times. So if you do go out to this area or any area that has a medieval times, they do have multiple locations, I would highly recommend going. It was a cute little vibe. I'm gonna put our costs on the screen here just to break down how much we did end up spending. I do think it was all worth it. I hope you enjoyed following us along on our first family road trip. Love you, bye.